Hi guys, it's April and I garden down in southeast Nebraska, zone 6A, formerly 5B, but I kind of just assume I'm straddling the middle there. Not that it really matters. I'm planting out and doing everything the same way I have always done, which means today is the day where all of my peppers and my tomatoes go out. We are about 2 weeks past our last frost date. Technically, we're about 3 weeks since the last frost, so I think we're pretty safe to put all of this in the ground. Today is overcast and it's on and off raining, so I took the time before I even decided to start filming to lay out where all of the peppers and all of the tomatoes were going to go and start setting up some of the trellising for the tomatoes, because I wasn't sure if I was even going to be able to film because you're not very waterproof and I didn't want to risk it. So I did all of the prep stuff first, and it looks like we're probably not going to get much rain past this point. But as you can see, it is very overcast, which is perfect for planting. I have, I don't even know. Let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections of tomatoes and about just as many pots of tomatoes that I need to plant up. And then I have 3 sections of peppers that I want to do as well. So it's going to be a long planting day. Most of this might just be, video of me putting things in the ground. I don't overcomplicate things too much. I have some biotone and some tomato tone that I'll put in the holes as I am planting them in. But since the soil is so wet, I don't know how much I'll actually have to water them in. It's just a matter of getting these in the ground because I pre-made all of the tags, so I really don't have to think too hard about it. But I mean, I do have probably 100 plants that I need to plant. So let's do this. So this is my first little section of 4 tomato plants. I have these ones on a string trellis because they are indeterminate. And so when I have indeterminate plants, I will always string them. Most of the time, I'll just clip them down to 1 liter, and that's just have them trellis up the string. I have 8 of this style trellis, and each of those trellises can hold 4 tomatoes. So I can get quite a few indeterminate plants. And like I said, I don't overcomplicate it. I'm just gonna dig a hole, and it looks like it is a little dry underneath. So at the end of all this, I will definitely go back and do a deep water of everything. So I dig a hole as deep as I possibly can. And then I have some tomato tone that I like to put at the bottom of all of the tomato holes. Let's see if I can get it open with the gloves on. And then we will just pot that down. I'll probably take some of these lower branches off. Probably should have got my clippers out. And there we go. Put the dirt back in the bed. And that's the first tomato done. Only, I don't even know how many more to go. So these guys are going to be a little different. These are my 6 paste style tomatoes, And so, for the most part, these are determinate or semi-determinate. So these will be caged. So I will plant them and then I will get the cage put around them. But otherwise, it's just completely the same as doing the other tomato plants. What did I do with the tag? Probably gonna go back and edit the video and be like, oh, there's where the tag went. Okay, I guess I'm just going to be making a new tag for that one. How the heck did that happen? It's stinking bright pink. How can you lose a bright pink tag? Kind of excited about this little set of 4 because these are all of my Star Wars inspired tomatoes, because I have the Rebel Starfighter VT16, Marcia Starfighter, the Rebel Starfighter Prime, and then Kaylee Ann Starfighter. So this is my little Star Wars corner. And it's starting to sprinkle. Hopefully it doesn't actually start raining, because otherwise I'm going to be doing this by myself and you guys are going to have to duck for cover. Do I want to dig it deeper than that? Maybe. That's what I was wondering. This plant struggled from the very beginning. So I'm actually surprised at the fact that I was able to bounce this back as much as I could. But the root structures are a little messed up. how pretty is this variegated tomato plant? This is the painted lady. I'm kind of excited to see how this one grows. So these ones that I'm doing in the pots are all dwarf tomatoes. Some of them are variegated and lovely. I'm excited about the variegated plants this year. So all 4 of these in this corner are all dwarf. Hence why I feel comfortable doing these in pots. Now I will admit you're not going to get the best angle on this one because I have nowhere to set you where you can actually watch this, but I have 4 dwarf tomato plants that I'm going to plant in this pot right here. I have an Oya in the middle that obviously you can't see. I'll probably show you a little later, but all of these are from the Fred dwarf tomato line. We've got a couple of wild Freds, we've got a brandy Fred, and we've got a Fred's tie-dye. And this is all because my grandfather's name was Fred, and it just tickled me. So here we go, the Fred tomatoes. Okay, I think I'm gonna start in the back. That might be easiest. Oh, this is super dry soil. I don't think this has been hit by any water. Just so you can get a better view of what I was just talking about, here are all of the Fred dwarf varieties, and then in the center there's that Oya. So this Oya won't actually accomplish much until these tomato plants really start growing, but if I ever have to go out of town or something for a couple days, I feel safe watering that up, and then it'll water this for a couple days. Okay, and these are the last 4 of my tomato plants. They're in a longer bed there's potatoes. I want to plant a couple peppers, and then something in between the tomatoes and peppers. I don't know quite what yet. And behind you, which you can't see quite yet, is some eggplants and some carrots. These are some additional dwarf that I didn't have pots for, so I'll probably plant these in and then cage them because I want to see how differently they grow from the potted ones. I'm doing a little test here. Okay, so before I start on the peppers, I want to get these eggplants planted in, and instead of using the tomato tone, I'm going to switch to just biotone. So it's pretty much the same as the tomato tone, but tomato tone is formulated more for the nutrient values that tomatoes need, whereas this just is an all-purpose start fertilizer, so it really helps with root development. To remind myself that I'm no longer planting tomatoes, so we don't want to bury them deep. Getting sprinkles. I can even get this out of the pot. There we go. It doesn't look nearly as healthy as the other one, but hopefully it will bounce back now that it's in the ground. Okay, now it's time to start on the peppers, but I'm actually going to start with the extra peppers first because they're over here in the bed I've just been messing with, and then I'll take you over to the actual planned pepper beds. Okay, I want it here, here, right there. Okay, just pressing down the containers so I know exactly where I want to dig my holes. So these are all sweet peppers. These are my extra sweet peppers that I wanted a little bit more of so that I can save a lot of peppers to use over the winter. Sweet peppers are one of those things that I run out of quite quickly, along with onions. So at this point, more is better. There's no benefit for planting peppers deep, except for maybe a little extra stability. They're not like tomatoes with the possibility of growing additional roots. And like I said, these are my extra ones, which is kind of why they look a little rougher. Because these were my backup, and they got a little bit neglected for a little while because I just had too much to keep track of. Okay, this is just gotta go. So this is my sweet pepper bed where my healthiest plants went. I have, how many? 6 in a row in 3 rows, about 18 plants. So I'm just gonna start digging holes. I know for a fact that my spacing is not perfect. But you know what? That is okay. Peppers like to hold hands, so the fact that they're planted a little higgledy-piggledy won't do them any harm. So I just pulled a very silly move and forgot to hit record, apparently, when I planted out this bed. So I guess I'll re-explain. I mean, I planted it out the same way I planted all the other peppers, but over here on this half of the bed, not even half, but this part of the bed, I have my non-spicy spicy peppers. So it's like the jalapenos, the habanadas, and I also have a sweet cayenne. And then over here are my spicy peppers, because we're not a huge spicy pepper family. But I have, let's see, I believe 5 different jalapenos, a stuffing scotch, a poblano, and a couple of ají peppers. And in this middle here, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to plant yet. I haven't decided. It might just be beans or something like that. But that was this bed. I'm sorry I pulled a a YouTuber oopsie, but here's this bed. The wind is picking up. So it's been off and on sprinkling, and I think at some point we're gonna get some actual rain. But I did get all of the tomatoes and all of the peppers planted out. Yep, there goes my glove. Which means I'm gonna end the video here. I am gonna plant out a couple of marigolds and calendulas and nasturtiums, but I'm not gonna film that because, like I said, I am not gonna chance it. I'm gonna end the video here, and then probably later this week I am going to do a garden tour, one of the first garden tours, because I think in the next couple days I'll probably get beans and other things planted out as well. So if you want to see that full garden tour, that'll be probably near the end of this week. And of course, if you aren't subscribed, subscribe so you can get notification of when that video goes up. My hands are really dirty. I do have an Instagram and Threads account where I will probably update all of my harvest stuff more frequently than on YouTube, but this means that garden tours are starting. I'm kind of excited, but I'm gonna put you away and I'm gonna quickly see if I can get everything else planted. I do hope I will see you guys again in another video, and I heart you beautiful faces. Bye.